You're listening to SM Media, the number one place for exclusive Scottish football content.
You have the heart of a giant, show it. You got the pride of a lion, roaring. Maybe you need big love, you don't need to give up. 'Cause something real is waiting there for you. You've been flying solo, now it's time to let go.
Hi folks, and welcome to the latest episode of the SM Media Scottish Women's Football Show. I'm Scott McPike. It's an absolute pleasure to be your host as always. And again, it's another champion special in this week's episode. I'm delighted to be joined by the champions of the championship. It's a pleasure to welcome, first of all, the manager, the head coach that's led Livingston into the SWPL. It's a pleasure to welcome on Paul Jaconelli.
Thanks very much. Nice to be here.
It's a pleasure. And as well, it's a pleasure to welcome on the captain who led them to the championship, Natasha Frew.
Thanks for having me.
It's a pleasure. And one of the stars of the team, Shannon Mulligan. Shannon, it's a pleasure.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you. It's a pleasure. It's really good to have you all on. Obviously, it's been a really long season, really busy season. 22 wins, 6 draws, 2 defeats. And Paul, it's SWPL football next season. It's a marvellous achievement by the squad.
Really good achievement by them. Really hard working all season. As you say, it's really competitive, so they've had to be on it all the time. Eh?
They have that, and obviously as well, Natasha, we said about the competitiveness of the league. It's obviously been a big season for the SWF, obviously changing into the 2-league structure. But to be the best in the whole division, it must be kind of a real achievement for you to feel like we won that league and you won it with 3 games to spare.
I thought it was pretty competitive. Every game you didn't know what you were going to get out of it. From my point of view, everybody was really competitive.
Natasha, what about yourself? Obviously winning the league, gonna lift the trophy next week. How have you felt with the season?
Much the same as Paul, to be honest. Like, some of the results could have went either way. It was even teams down at the bottom of the league, they were challenging just as much as the teams up at the top. And some of the results each week, you were looking at it thinking, how's that happened? But it was such a close league. But I'm delighted we've finally wrapped it up because the pressure's been on us for quite a while now. And you could feel it building in the changing room before and during the games as well, but it's done now, so we're all relieved but absolutely buzzing about it as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Shannon, obviously last Sunday was quite a dramatic way to win the league. Obviously a 3-3 draw at home to Frew. What was the feeling when that last minute equaliser went in and the trophy was yours?
I was relieved, but I was delighted, obviously. But it was a really hard game for both teams, I think. But no, I'm glad we got the last minute winner, and it seems a thing that we do a lot. But I'm glad it was in that game too.
Paul, we'll get into kind of later on talking about the kind of key results and the key moments for the season. But getting into the season, obviously we spoke to yourself kind of early on for the preview, and a lot of teams were talking about promotion, and it was kind of hard to put a finger on where teams are in terms of the kind of new league structure and things like that. But at the start of the season, what were your kind of thoughts getting into it? Was promotion always on the agenda? Was it just a case of getting players in and getting a real idea where you wanted to go?
Well, initially we didn't really want to speak too much about promotion. We didn't speak too much about promotion for quite a bit of the season. I felt that was something I wanted to keep away from them. But this season, the difference was I felt we'd got a good pre-season in. And I think the girls themselves felt a lot fitter, a lot sharper, whereas previous seasons, with COVID and everything else that was involved, I felt our preparation, we tried our best to prepare properly, but I felt this season the preparation was a lot better. And I think it showed because we were winning so many games late on. I think the girls would maybe agree that we were a lot sharper and a lot fitter, and I think once the league started, I felt that, but we didn't. I personally didn't talk too much about promotion. We were asked enough times, but personally, I just wanted to stay away from it.
Natasha, what about yourself? Obviously, like Paul made a good point there about kind of the stop-start of COVID the past couple of years, like the start of this season. How much different did it feel in comparison to the couple of seasons before that and getting a good pre-season under your belt?
Well, I never joined Livingston until halfway through, so I never had done a full season with them before. I joined during COVID times. But just obviously Ali, our fitness coach, she's unbelievable. Like, see, during it we hate her, but we're so thankful to her, like, for after it. She really like pushes us to our limits, and she put us through our paces the entire season. She's been such a credit. But I think it shows as well, like in some games we weren't playing great football. I don't think this has been a season where we've played like consistently good football. But I think in times it's shown like our fitness has sort of got us where we need to be. We're like chasing balls and everything. So I like pretty consistent season in one way, but not in terms of like playing actual football. We definitely could improve on that. We're a good side, but we've just not shown it enough this season.
Shannon, obviously yourself as well, like, from an attacking point of view, how did you feel going into the season, and was there a target in your mind to get some goals?
Not really, actually. I don't know how I've managed to get to as many goals as I've got to, but no, it is Tash said bringing Fitness Alley, and it's helped us a lot on the fitness side. Like, we've got the ability, the football, sometimes you can't show it, but the fitness side is what's really helped us get through the season. And personally, me, I think that's what's helped me get through it as well. And I've got up the field to score the goals because of fitness.
Paul, obviously one of the few teams in the league that have they kind of play the home games at the same place the men team does. How big is it to have the Tony Macaroni and kind of your own kind of place and able to play kind of good football, things like that? How important has that venue been this year?
I think it's a twofold thing as well, though. We enjoy being on the stadium. You know, it's just the perfect atmosphere.
Mm-hmm.
But I found that a lot of teams that come to the stadium, they get that same buzz,
Right.
and they tend to lift their game as well a wee bit. We have teams coming and looking around the place and going, "Oh yeah," you know. And so it has a two side to it. But the girls love being there, and the crowds that this season have been great. But there's another side to it that sometimes that can cause us a bit more issues than we'd like. But it's a great surface, great place to play, and I think that's why the levels have risen as well. So, ideal.
Yeah, Natasha, obviously as well, kind of similar to that, like the support the whole club has for the women's game. How key has that been to the kind of journey the club's been on this year?
It's been brilliant. Can't really fault them. We've had the backing for the men. Some of them have been along to our games. They're just very supportive. Where it's like we're included in like the kit launch and just all their media stuff, and there's a good like rapport between like the women's and the men's side, and hopefully with us going up we'll just keep building on it. But it's just been an absolute credit for literally everybody behind the scenes, just working just to be a bit more inclusive. And obviously we get to share the same park that they play on, which is an absolute credit as well, obviously. It's a good setup.
Yeah, absolutely is. Shannon, like at the start of the season as well, how important was the kind of team building and kind of chemistry and towards to go into a long season? 'Cause 30 games in, it's going to take a lot of team chemistry, a lot of players kind of gelling off one another. How important was that at the start of the season to build that rapport with each other?
Oh, it was very important, and especially coming off the back of COVID, we weren't really spending as much time together or training, and then it was non-contact and stuff like that. But the pre-season stuff, it brought everyone together, and we've worked really hard for each other this season as well. And then even like new girls coming in late on the season, they fit in really well, and yeah, it's helped us get to where we are.
Throughout the season, Paul, obviously there's some big results, as you say, a lot of kind of one goal results that obviously swung the title, but a plus 50 goal difference already. It shows you that there's a lot of goals in the team, there's a lot of kind of big results. What's the kind of big moments of the season where you kind of think now, kind of looking back, that's the point where we kind of won the league? Is there any kind of points that stick out to you where that they were the points where you went, they were a big 3 points for us that day?
I think touching on what we discussed earlier, we seem to be going to the end of games. And I remember the Rossvale game at home, which is a team that's competing with us. That late goal, I think it was 89th, 90th minute, to win that. Last season, teams done that to us. We played awfully well, and then at the end of games, teams were punishing us really late on. And I think that for me was a turning point. Not just the actual game as well, which was good, but that mentality that the girls had to say we're not giving this up, and scoring so late on. And we just kept doing that. We kept doing that to teams. And some teams, a lot of the games this season, because of standards, a lot of them became battles. And we found a battling we just managed to battle away right to the very end of games. And that's just reflecting on the commitment that the girls had, the full game. I think we learned the season before how sore that can be to be beat late on, and we were doing it to teams round about us this season, and I think that's the difference. And the Rossville game was one of them. I think there was a few more, but the Rossville game was one of them. It sticks in my mind.
Natasha, any for you that kind of stand out as big moments?
Probably backing up what Paul said, but I don't think it was sort of solidified until last week against Renfrew. Obviously, we played against Dryborough and we got beat 2-0 at home, which wasn't a good night overall. So obviously it's in the back of your mind, like, are we going to chuck it here? Just one bad game, one bad night. But no, I don't think, honestly, for me, I don't think we had it in the bag until Sunday. I think just that last minute winner, I was like, this is it. And that was it for me.
Shannon, what about yourself? Obviously, your goals have been very important, as along with a few others. Is there any kind of big moments that stand out for you?
So I would say Rossville, I think, no just like that's his like turning point to win the league, but more just the fact that everybody's together and like we can actually do it. So I'll go on the back of that.
Paul, were you impressed with the kind of standard of the league this year? Obviously, you've got teams like Renfrew and Rossville are kind of pushing for promotion as well, but teams like Ayr, as you say, Dryborough coming and winning at home, they had a massive recovery as well. Like, have you been impressed with the standard of the league?
Really impressed with the standard of the league this year. There wasn't really a top and a bottom half to this league, because we could go away somewhere, up to Inverness or through Ayr, and we had to work really hard to get a result. Sometimes just a draw, but we had to work really hard to get the result. So I think everybody's standard in the league was at a good level. As I said, I think the difference between us and maybe the rest was that at the end, we could manage to get over the line that bit. As Natasha said, she didn't feel happy until Sunday. That's understandable. That was the way I was wanting to think, was that let's wait till it's over and done with. And that's the kind of mentality they had. But going back to sort of turning points, as I say, the Rossville that mentality showed then, and I felt as though that. But the standard in this league was excellent. And to get out it as champions is a really big achievement for them. And I think it will put them in good stead for next year, because it'll not be easy.
It certainly won't. Obviously, we'll get into later on, kind of touching on the standard of the SWPL 2, which I think is going to be another kind of magnificent step up for you. But Natasha, the kind of standard of the league and coming up against tough opponents, was there any kind of players that stood out for you as kind of tough opposition?
See, to be honest, I'd go as far as saying there was like always one player in every team. Much like what Paul said, there was never any games where we could just show up and be like, right, that's it, we'll have the 3 points today. Like, it was never like that. We were never complacent, and we always had to put in a shift to make sure we went home with the 3 points. But I'd probably say when we played against Ayr on Sunday there, Claire Docherty, she's a very good player, very quick as well, very good with the ball at her feet. She's always been quite tricky to play against. Nobody else I can think of off the top of my head, to be honest.
Shannon, for your own perspective, who's been some of the kind of key players in the team? I know it's kind of putting you in the spot, but like, who's been some of the key players in the team that you feel kind of took the team forward this year?
Not just because she's also on this call, but I'll put Tash in there. I'd say like we've got quite a strong spine in the team. I think like the key players would be like myself, Tash. I'd say Jess Murphy, and then obviously you're looking at Ash and Jen, who's up there with the goals as well. And then I think bringing in like Brogan Anderson, she's helped us like the football side as well. And then we've just built round about that, to be fair.
Paul, how important is that kind of the spine that Shannon mentioned there? And you do kind of notice that there's a lot of players who kind of start every game who seem to have a strong kind of impact in the side. How important is it to have that kind of rock in your side?
It's very important. It's not just the spine. It's the maturity they bring to it. That aggression to win. So we need that to be strong, and they were very strong, especially at times when the chips were down. They were very strong. And to be fair to the girls, their discipline as well in that position is really important. We've came up against a lot of teams that sometimes their discipline puts them out the game. But to be fair, spine's been really strong. Their discipline's been great. I don't think any of the two have been sent off this season, have you?
Nope.
No. I've been sitting off once in my life.
I thought that. I just need to watch. I said the tweets, but I was really directing that to Shannon. But
I've only 3 yellow cards and all. That's it.
so, that's important, especially when you've got such a strong, spine. But and we rely on them at times, and they know that. But they've handled the pressure of that really well, and players in the boot them know that. That this is a requirement. This is what you need to do. So sometimes it doesn't have to be verbally done. They do it with their actions, putting their heads in where it's sore and tackles in where it's sore. And every team's got that. But this season they've been exceptional. A wee bit mouthy at times, but hey, listen.
Natasha, what kind of big moments? Obviously, Paul's on the call, and I know you'll maybe not want to be kind of humble him too much, but like, kind of Paul's impact for the touchline, how important's that been as well? And is there any kind of big moments you feel that Paul kind of helped the team along?
I don't know. I need to keep him grounded. So, I think he's got 1 to 2 sides of him. I think he reads the changing room when he comes in at half time. I think he knows the players in the changing room at half time enough as well to know how to react to if we are drawn that we should be winning, or just a way to sort of pick us up to get us going. I think he's been around enough, he's long enough to know how we sort of take to that as well. So you can't miss him for the side of the park. He's never done shouting.
Don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
I'll let you decide.
Thank you.
Shannon, what about yourself? Obviously, the impact that kind of Paul and the rest of the coaching staff have had. How big a factor do you feel that's been this season as well?
Well, I feel for me, obviously, I've worked with Paul for a long time,
Yeah.
so I know kind of what he expects for people. But just as what Tash says, he knows the right things to say at the right times to bring us back. And as you say, like, he didn't know what to say about promotion or winning the league too much, so he kind of kept us at a level where we don't get too confident. And I think they've all been a great asset to us and the club.
Paul, obviously, it must give you a bit of encouragement as well. The development squad winning the East Division, that's some achievement as well, and it must give you hope that a lot of youngsters coming through for the future as well. Yeah,
it's been ideal, and to be fair, their involvement has lifted the ladies as well. They train with us as well, so that involvement with us and the participation between the first team and the reserves, and now 18s and 16s, it's ideal. And our girls take a lot of time with them, the odd chat and things like that. So it's a big positive for the club, because when we first went there, it was only us. But the vision is to go a lot further than this, and have the full criteria there, the full, all the way through. But it's a big bonus to us, a big bonus, and they're doing really well.
Yeah,
they're doing extremely well. So people are starting to take notice of the club, and hopefully we'll keep doing the right things, and that's important. But
yeah, definitely. Yeah, Natasha. So obviously the impact the development squad have had, how important's that been?
Oh, it's just been massive. They're just an absolute credit. Like, they deserve every bit of recognition for what they've achieved. They're quite a solid team, and we've obviously played a few bounce matches at training, just if one of our games are called off or whatever, and they're just as capable as being in the first team as anybody else. So they've absolutely smashed it.
Yeah, absolutely. And Shannon, what about yourself? Obviously, seeing the kind of progression in the development squad and seeing the kind of steps this club's taking, it must give you kind of great encouragement how far the team's come.
It does, and obviously I'm happy for having the 16s and 18s, because it gives the younger girls something to work towards for them when they get older, and because some teams don't really have that. But no, I think it's been a massive thing for the club, and hopefully for the future it just gets better.
Paul, I'm not going to kind of ground you too much, but looking towards next season, there is, obviously you will agree, there is a step from the SWF into SWPL. When you see, obviously, this weekend we're going to see 4 teams going for 1 promotion place. I mean, it shows you how tight the league is. Are you looking already towards next season? Are you thinking maybe need to add some more players? How are you kind of looked at that yet? Or is it just a case of enjoying the here and now?
Well, we have looked at it, because it would be silly not to. So we have looked at it. we realise our levels will have to be, for the step up, they have to be better. The players themselves, our players at the club at the moment, they demand that as well, which is great. So we're already preparation for next season. I think just going back slightly to touch on our youth, I'm hoping as we develop players like Tash and Shannon, they will then be involved in our youth as they go through. Our people that are at the club will be involved in that. So that winning way is shifted back all the way down through the club. But we need to now, we had to consolidate and get to the SPL. That was our first and our most important thing. Now we will attract different levels of players now. And that was the whole idea behind it. And we'll also attract younger players to our reserves and to our dev. And that then will push the levels up again. So we keep our spine, we keep our strength, but we must add now as we go into SPL2. So we keep progressing all the time. And the players at the club demand that now. And they're quite right. That has to be the way forward. If we just sat back and think, right, we'll just go up and we'll see what happens. We can't do that. We can't do that. And hopefully in years to come, all this experience that we've gained, we can then pass on to our youth.
Yeah, absolutely. Natasha, what about you? Kind of both of you as well. Start with Natasha, like the prospect of playing at a higher level next year. How much are you kind of looking forward to that, and kind of how kind of the other players in the team as well? How do you see them kind of looking forward to that as well?
I think it'll be really good for us. It's obviously going to develop us as players. I mean, I don't think we can underestimate the jump between Championship and SWPL2. I think it is going to be a big jump, and I think we're going to need to be even better. And I think it's going to encourage us to start. We're going to come up against teams who are actually going to play a bit more football this year. So it's going to encourage like the best out of your game as well. But to be honest, I haven't thought about it too much. I've obviously been on a bit of a high after winning the league last week, and then we've still got a huge game. Although the league's done, we've still got a big game on Sunday. We want to go on a run unbeaten as long as we can. So I've not gave it too much a thought, to be completely honest. But obviously it's exciting. We've absolutely smashed the goal that we set out for this season. So it's good in the way that we've got something else to work towards now, which is a big goal in itself. But I've no doubt that if we work as hard as what we should, and we apply ourselves right, we play football and we attract other players as well, then I think we can go for it. I mean, look at Montrose, they've just got back-to-back promotion as well.
Shannon, do you kind of share those thoughts in next season? And is there a thing of get the last game out of the way, then you look towards next season? Is there already thoughts in your mind for
that? For me, I've thought about it a wee bit, but I think it was more like when we played Kilmarnock in a friendly. I think that showed the levels up in the SWPL2 and what we need to work towards, like to be like, and obviously play more football and stuff. But now I'm back to just get Sunday out the way, and then we can start to work on that and prepare well.
Paul, see when your side's obviously won the league with a few games to spare, how important is it to maintain the consistency and the standards? Because obviously Sunday was a big result for you as well, and a hard fought victory. But how important is it to kind of maintain that when you've won the league the way you have?
I don't think it's something we can, now that we're at the level, we can't switch on and switch off. We need to go on. I think the girls are in the routine. They know what's required from them, and that's the way they prepare for every game. And I think if we don't prepare right for every game, it shows a lack of respect to other teams. And we as a group, we don't want to be known as that. We want to go out and give 100% every game. And that's something I think we can't just switch on and switch off. So that's the way they behave. That's the way they know what's required for them. That's the way to go about it.
And Natasha, the game on Sunday is obviously going to be against Rossvale, who are obviously going for their own kind of chances of promotion. How important is that? Obviously, they're going to be chasing something as well. How big is that going to be? Obviously, it's going to be trophy day, things like that. But still, the last game of the season, and that the Rossvale side are going to have a lot to play for. Oh,
they're going to come out like going for it. They're obviously gunning for Frew. They're trying to get promotion as well. So they'll be ready for it. So I think it's more so about us picking ourselves up, because we don't want to be like, oh, it's just another game, like the league's done anyway. But they're a good side. I mean, every game I've played them in, it's been competitive. I think it could go either way. I think if we show up, then I've no doubt that we'll win. But they're definitely going to come here and they're going to go for it. So I just think we need to be prepared for that.
And Shannon, what's your own kind of opinion about kind of trying to finish the season in a high? Obviously, final game, as we say, Rossvale have a lot to play for. How are you kind of approaching Sunday?
I think we shouldn't really think too much about it being trophy day and just treat it like any other game that we have through this season. But as Tash says, Rossvale are a really good team and they've made some like good signings in the past however many weeks and that. But no, I think if we show up and just do what we can do, then yeah, I think we can win it as well.
We're going to put both the players in the spot with the teammates round. But Paul, I want to kind of just ask you just quickly, just before we move on to that, just how important the two girls have been this season and their contributions and how good it is to obviously have two players like that on your side.
Listen, you know what? I've got a game on Sunday. But fantastic. Known them a long time and they know what's required. But I'm no I need to keep, as Tash said, I want to keep them grounded.
Go on, keep going.
I know.
But they're big characters for the team. They're the thing is they know how to go about the business and how to influence players around about them. And that's what's important. That's what's really important. So there's a load of coaches involved with us, and every one of them be 100%. And that's what they require for us. So they keep us on our toes as well. So
well, we're about to hear their thoughts and their teammates as well. Another segment in the show we have called Teammates. We put the players in the spot. We've got two players this week, so we're going to have a bit of competition. Actually, I'm keen to see how many of you actually agree on. Well, obviously, just Paul, feel free to chime in as well. If you disagree with any of these, then please let us know. But Natasha, Shannon, are you ready?
Let's go.
Yep.
Right, we'll go to Natasha first. Best trainer?
Oh, probably Brogan Anderson.
Shannon?
Oh, can I think now? I'd maybe say the same.
Paul, I see Paul nodding. Yeah.
Yep.
Agree with that. Natasha, who's the worst?
Jess Murphy, a million times over. She's awful.
I think she's won this about 2 years in a row.
So we're both in agreement there. It's Jess Murphy.
She'll
Yep.
agree with us as well.
Aye.
Most skillful?
Oh,
I'd say Jen Dodds.
Jen or maybe Lucy. I think Jen maybe edges it.
Aye.
Paul, I'll give you the cast and go it.
Mine's isn't any one of those two though.
Oh, I'm intrigued.
I personally feel for vision and things like that. I think Gemma is pretty, technically aware. I'm looking at a technical side.
Right.
She's pretty technically aware of diversion of passes, and she's doing the same route as Tash and Shannon, but a bit further up the park and does a wee bit more. But also comes back the way I find sometimes if Gemma's on her game, we play a lot more football. So I'm just looking at it for a tactical side. That's for me. I do understand what the girls mean.
Who's the funniest in the dressing room?
Sure.
Aye. Sha, all day, every day.
I'm not disagreeing with that.
No.
Any stories about that or anything you can?
Oh,
Ah.
well, maybe just
She's just a bit mental, is all you need to know.
what you see is what you get. She's just so down to earth. She's nothing phases her. Oh, she's just so funny.
Aye.
Best music taste?
I'll take myself for that one.
I'm not giving you that, Shannon, sorry. Absolutely not. I'm going to have to say Sha again because the only other person that's in charge of the music, if you know, is Sha. And hers is all
Aye, but
like,
she plays my playlist.
No, yours is just like a beat. She actually plays like tunes.
Did you see what I'm up against?
Shannon, you saying yourself?
Aye. Of course.
Who's got the worst music taste?
Oh, I might go Jess and Jen.
Oh, I don't know. I feel
Don't
like
really hear many people.
that's what I was going to say. There's definitely somebody in the team that listens to like heavy rock or something that we don't know about. I don't know, because whoever's in charge of the music. No, I don't know. I'm
I'm
gonna
just saying Jess and Jen because it's always Kylie. Or
that's very
Disney
good
music.
though.
Aye, but like, no, when you're trying to get up for a big game.
I don't know. I can't even answer that. Someone that's not had their phone plugged into the speaker for sure.
Who's the most temperamental?
Um, if we're going off yesterday's game, it'd probably be me.
I've never seen Natasha stressed in my life.
I don't know. I feel like
I don't know.
I feel like it could be me a wee bit, not in a bad way. Just I get a wee bit stressed in a game, so I'll just
Aye.
take the hit for that one.
I think it's a
I'd
toss-up
probably-
between Charlotte and Tash.
I think that's fair.
Quick,
Charlotte goalkeeper, sorry.
who's the quickest?
Oh,
Either for me, it'd either be Lucy or Sha. I think.
aye, I'd say the same. Aye.
Slowest?
I feel like I'm about to throw somebody under the bus.
I know.
That's what
I
this
can
is
be quite
for.
slow if it's at a. I could be quite slow if it's at a long distance.
I don't know why I'm naturally thinking about defenders when we're talking about being slow. I'm going to say Charlotte the keeper because she's a keeper and I've no other reason. She doesn't join in that much with her fitness, so
So I agree with that.
Manager's pet?
Tash.
behave yourself.
Definitely not.
Oh, I always thought you were the favourite too.
Don't have favourites, Shannon.
Aye, that's what they always say.
I don't know, I never had time to prepare for this. I can't think.
Yep. It could be a number of people, to be honest. It
Like
just
who?
you, Gemma,
You.
me.
I don't know, I've not
Aye,
even
aye.
got an answer. I can't think.
I would say Ali, the fitness coach.
What is manager's
Aye.
pet?
Aye. Aye. She does everything that I tell her to do and it's worked well.
That's the final one. And Paul, I'll come to you for this first. Who do you think out the whole squad is most likely to become a manager?
Oh. Oh, either of these two, probably. Aye, either of these two could aye. Aye. Or also Charlotte the goalkeeper as well. Yeah,
That's a good shout.
definitely. And maybe Stacey Calder, because she likes to analyse the game a lot. Definitely.
Natasha, you got an opinion on that?
Probably say there's a good few people that has the potential, I think, but in terms of who actually I think would go for it would maybe be Charlotte as well. I think she'd be really good at that.
Shannon, maybe yourself.
I agree with him, and then I'd throw Nick Sturrock in there as well.
Oh, aye. That's a good
Aye.
point.
She pretty much does coaching outside, so and obviously brings it into her training and stuff to help the younger players. But no, I think she would be good. Aye.
Brilliant. It's been an absolute pleasure to be all on. Congratulations very much on winning the title, Paul. Many congratulations. Enjoy Sunday and congratulations on a terrific season.
Thanks very much. Really appreciate it. Thank you.
Natasha, same to yourself. Well done and all the best for Sunday, and enjoy your summer and look forward to seeing you in SWPL next year.
Thanks so much. Thanks for having me.
No, it's a
Thank
pleasure.
you.
And Shannon, thank you very much. Congratulations and enjoy next season when it comes.
Thank you so much.
Brilliant. Thank you very much.
Take care.
All the best. Cheers.
Thank
now.
you.
In this